Hi everybody. I'm going to try something different. You know, I used to make a lot more desserts and stuff, and you know, I've had lots of experience out, but I just don't do it anymore. You know, the stuff in the store is pretty darn good. But I'm going to make this pie, graham cracker crust, and it's got like a banana cream filling, and it's topped with this like really cool like blueberry compote thing. And I think it's going to be really good. So, first thing is, I went to the store yesterday to get some graham cracker crumbs. National, shortage on that too. So, basically, I dug through my old recipe books, and if you buy the graham crackers, and it doesn't matter what you get, I didn't want anything like with cinnamon in it because that would affect the crust. But I need 1.5 cups of crumbs, and that's about 12 whole sheets. So about 12 of these, and gives you 1.5 cups. It does take a while to pulse it. You know, you got to keep. First you let it run, and then you pulse it with the blade in there because you are going to have some chunks. Now, hopefully, as we add other ingredients in here, anything that didn't quite get totally demolished is going to smells good, robo-cooed, as they say, when we keep going. Alright, so first thing I want to do is I just need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And it's very hot and sticky, so my salt is sticky. So there we go. 1/2 teaspoon. And then I need 1/2 cup of sugar. I don't get to do this kind of stuff anymore. It's kind of fun and exciting to see if I pass or fail. Of course, you'll never know if I fail because I won't put the video out. Alright, so that being said, I've got a 375-degree oven. It just beeped a second ago before I started this video, so I know it's ready to go. And we just want to really get this all cut up, chopped up, and finished. I don't see anything in there, so I think we're good. Alright, so let me see. Now what I need to do, pick out my little chute, see how good I am at this. I melted 6 tablespoons of butter. So basically, soften it plus a few seconds and it turns into liquid gold. Alright, so what I need to do is turn this on. And I'm just going to try and test my skill of pouring it straight down. So let's pulse it a couple times, make sure we got a good consistency. Still getting cracker dust coming out here, so we've got to put that back in. There's smoke, there's fire. Alright. So this really isn't hard. Consistency looks good. we're going to make sure kind of by hand that everything is done. But what I want to do is unplug it. I know it can't start, but I really don't want to find out that there's something wrong with it. It's a really sharp blade. So I want to get my blade cutter out of here, set that in a safe place, hide it, you know, in the soap suds so that someone reaches down there. Just kidding. Look at this batch. So let's get this off from here. Get this out of the way. Right. Can't kill those old Cuisinarts. You can't kill them, man. They're so nice. Alright, so if you've never done this before, basically you're going to take your fingers and mush, once we get this all checked out. Oh yeah, this looks pretty good. And this is probably the easiest step. It's funny, this is an old Pyrex pan, and they only made them for a couple of years. It actually has some clear advantage non-stick coating in it. It was a gift from my mom back in the 80s. How scary is that? I also have a big, huge, this is a 9-inch, I have a 10-inch. I used to use for quiche. Alright, don't want to go too crazy. Yeah, this might be enough. Alright, rest is pretty simple. So you're going to take your fingers and you're going to mush. To make sure we get a really good solid base. Don't want it too thick, not too thin. And then we're just going to crimp up the edges. And let's see where you're going to find thin spots really quickly when you do this. So just kind of get everything in place. I kind of like to add more later if I need it. I'm trying to tape away. And don't make that bottom edge too thin because you will never be able to cut and serve it. Doesn't this look like fun? And this just takes practice. You can't really goof it up. But as you can see, the graham cracker definitely doesn't have any chunks in it, so I did a good job of that. Trying to get a crack sealed here. You can't fix the cracks after it's baked, so we need to make sure we got no cracks. Must have been younger when I used to do this because this actually is kind of hard on the fingers. I'm going to make one last trip around. once this bakes, if you have like a bunch of loose stuff on that top edge, we can brush it right off. So it's kind of fine to leave it alone for now instead of trying to clean it up. And I think and I'll tell you a little secret, if you are really having issues, you can always toss a little extra butter, melted butter in here when you make it. You know, the first couple times it does make it easier to work with, and it really doesn't change the consistency that much. So this is going to go on a baking sheet, go in a 375 oven for 10 minutes. You should be able to smell it, and you should be able to see a little brown around the edges, and I'll be back to show you how we're going to stuff it. Alright, ended up cooking this nice beautiful crust for 12 minutes. You can see it's a little brown on the edges. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know. When you buy in the store, they machine press them, so that's why it looks so perfect. So let me get this out of the heat way, because I need it to stay cool. It's at room temperature. So what else I got going? Besides crumbs on my hand. So I've got 2.5 cups of milk. This is just whole milk. We're making the custard, so you can't use skim milk or whatever. Just gonna really kind of slowly let this creep up. In the meantime, what I need to do is I got a banana, and before I forget, I gotta get a tablespoon of vanilla in the milk. So I'm going to pour that. And if you don't cook a lot and you have something in your cupboard that's been in there for a while, they do have expiration dates. This still has a year left on it, so the expiration dates must be pretty out there. And it's funny because I bought one for a recipe, and because I thought I had one, I couldn't find it. Then I found this one, so it's been in there a while. Just had to add that because it smells so good. Alright. So, I got me a banana. Just want to start the process. Mush, mush. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just take a little time and get your fork to kind of squeeze it through. Once it gets started, it's pretty easy. Everyone's like, oh, wait until the bananas are really overripe to do this. You saw this was a not overripe banana, and for this recipe this just works out real well. And we don't want to leave bananas peeled because they will get pretty funny pretty quick. Yeah, this is like, must be good exercise. All right. got this beautiful mixture. Let's get it in here too. Tastes good too. Alright. So I just want to get a little steam coming off from here. Get that banana cooked. Yeah, that's banana and vanilla. What's a more perfect thing? Alright. So while that's working, it's getting hot. So I think I'm going to move on to the next step. I got 4 egg yolks. I got half a cup of sugar. I need a very small amount. We're talking a 1/4 teaspoon of salt like I did before. So we just need to see if we can. You just use the top there, scrape it down, put that in. Last but not least, I need 6 tablespoons of cornstarch. That's a lot of cornstarch, okay? So I like keeping it in the bag. You can kind of use your hand as the leveler. Use my finger right there. Whoa. 5. And 6. Okay. So I got 2 things going here. I'm going to turn this down because I see it steaming a little bit. Maybe not quite yet. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I'm going to break over to my mix here. We're going to whisk this real good. Mush, mush. I probably have a better whisk I could have done this with, but then you ultimately have to get it beaten pretty good. So we're just going to make sure we get this pretty good mixed up. Just break it up. Don't want my bowl to go flying. Okay, watch this. Open sesame. This is mixed very well. So, I see this has got a little bit of steam action going to it. So, we don't want to make scrambled eggs. So this is how you temper eggs, is we're going to take just a little bit of this warm milk and banana mixture and whisk it into here. So we'll just ladle some in there. Around about a quarter cup or so. We're going to beat the heck out of this. If you want, you could use your mixer. This is our custard. If you see any lumps in here, it's probably the bananas, so that's fine. I'm going to beat this until those eggs lose some of that really yellow color. Looks good to me. You can see it's lost that really dark yellow. Get rid of my whisk. Okay. Make sure I got that good clean. So I want to just incorporate this back in here. Good time to use a rubber spatula, but I got this one dirty already, so I'm like, be fine. So let's get this stirring as we go. Now we've got everything tempered, everything's good. We're not going to curdle anything unless we really get it going crazy. I would use my whisk, but I don't want to totally destroy the mashed banana in here. So that's why I'm just going to be kind of delicate with it. So this is where it thickens. It gets real happy. This is a true custard. Looks good. Hope it is. Hope. We're just going to hope, okay? So we want to just mix this up. I'm going to turn up the heat just a hair. I had it on real low, like super low. So I just want to get a little heat under there because now I know everything's tempered. And we just want to cook it until that cornstarch gets activated and it thickens up a little bit. It's not going to take a whole long time. So there are two schools about doing custard like this. If you're really good at separating your egg yolks, you shouldn't have a problem. But if you got a bunch of like strands of egg whites, some people will strain them back again. Honestly, I really don't think if you take any time at all when you're separating your eggs, shouldn't be a real problem. I still use the old granny method of, you know, break the shell on a flat surface, back and forth. And years ago when I was young, I used an egg separator because I was always afraid. And let me tell you, nothing breaks your heart more than when you're in the middle of like separating like 12 eggs for something, and you Mix the yolk and the white together. Alright, this looks really good. Alright. It's got a nice little foam to it, so I know it's starting to get to that next level. I'm going to take a risk here, because that's what I like to do. So let's take my lovely pie crust, and actually I can set it here. I'm going to take another banana, this cutting board all set aside. Trying not to take my eyes off the mix there. And I just want to make some thin slices. It's tapping, I can hear it. Let's take a break for a second. Oh, it's definitely thickening now. Let's see the way it coats the spoon a little bit differently. It'll take another minute though. Alright, so just going to make a whole bunch of thin little slices. And I know you can't hear it, but it's going bing, bing, bing. Alright. Butter knife is a really good choice for this. That way if you look away and hit your finger, you're not going to cut it, right? This is the way my grandmother would have done it. And her reasoning is you want this beautiful mixture to kind of seep in between all these bananas. That custard. You know, I'm not being overly careful. It's a good banana. Just had to try. Never take your eyes off your custard. Oh yeah. That's where we want it right there. It's really sticking to the spoon. Oh yeah. Remove it from the heat. Just give it a good mixing so it doesn't lump or this is a beauty now. This recipe isn't really difficult, it's just got a lot of stages to it. So, you know, it's something you can do on a rainy day or over a couple days. It really doesn't matter. I'm trying to get a good, like I said, some people would say you gotta strain it because you want to get those little pieces of banana out. I'm okay with it as long as you mashed it up good. You know, and if it's hard for you to use with a fork, use a potato masher. I mean, just beat the heck out of it. let's see what it looks like. Yeah, look at that. So, so you can feel it's kind of smooth and slippery on the spatula here. Even better than I thought it'd be. Alright, so I get back to lovely crust. Remember I told you I made it kind of thin on the top, so if that breaks away, it's okay. Now I just want to get these. I saw a recipe where someone said, oh, cut the bananas like lengthwise and then just cut them to fit. I'm like, fit? My grandmother had a fit if you told her. So let's just get these in here. And I do enjoy bananas. I eat a banana every day. It's good for you. Yep. Just need to share some of these bananas. Oops. And it's funny, I used to do a lot more dessert kind of cooking, and it's more of a science. I like the art of cooking the savory, but that's fun. Just going to drop that temperature just enough so when I pour it on there, those little slices of bananas won't scream. Ah. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, there was a time I used to make this. Is cool. There were times I used to make a lot of pies and such, and it is fun. But pies and cakes, you know, they're kind of like you gotta keep doing them. You gotta be so good, like with making this crust, that, you know, I was a little uncomfortable. I hadn't made it in a while, but I knew when it was done. You know, I just kind of sensed that. So I didn't burn it. It's not undercooked. And, you know, guess who eats it? So, if it doesn't look real pretty, I don't care. Alright, let's see here. Okay, that worked perfectly. Oh, I got this nice, creamy, rich, all mixed together. And it's really helped bring down that temperature. So, are you ready? Think I can do this? Yes, sure. Why not? Let's see. All right. So if you put your spatula or a spoon in front, it'll reduce the splatter effect. And I want to fill this right up to the brim. I see I knocked some of the crust over. Do want to do that. That's all she wrote. So what do? Goes in the fridge. Crust is really good. So we're going to gently get this in the fridge. We need to chill it for a couple hours. In this case, I'm actually going to give it some time because we want that to set. We want everything to be really happy and perfect. And I'll show you back how we're going to finish this up. Alright, believe it or not, pie's in the fridge. The banana filling is set perfectly. I wanted to give it some extra time, and I had to do other errands anyways. But the key to it is really make sure you stir it till it's really thick, kind of like a pudding consistency, and let it cool. You don't want to pour it in too hot, or it's going to ruin your crust, okay? All I did was set it aside and kind of forgot about it. You could always, you know, if your pots hold a lot of heat, you can always pour it in a bowl, something to let it cool down, dissipate, and just keep stirring it because you don't want it to set up in the bowl or in the pot while you're working on it. All right, so the next thing we have to do is actually make the topping. We're going to skip the middle layer because that's easy. I got to make the topping. So it's got this like blueberry, almost like a preserve kind of topping, which is really easy to make. So I've got 2 cups, nice beautiful fresh blueberries. I'm going to get a little heat on. And throw away my bucket. And I have half a cup of sugar. It's a lot of sugar. Now, this is an interesting combination that I actually like. Something I've been doing for a long time. So I have half a teaspoon of cinnamon and half a teaspoon of cardamom. If you don't have cardamom, you can skip it, but I think it really helps. It's a very interesting, exotic kind of flavor. The blueberries are going to start to kind of give up the juice here in a minute from the heat. I want to get the dry ingredients kind of mixed together. Alright, now I need 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. I guess that's what I love about this bag stuff. You just kind of use your hand as a level it. Stuff gets everywhere. It's all over the front of my shorts, actually. It's funny, I can really smell the cinnamon and the cardamom. Alright, now I got all my dry ingredients pretty well sorted out. Things are just starting to get a little toasty in there. So I need a tablespoon of lemon juice. This is just a little too much. That's okay because we might need it. Really getting those blueberries to cook. Now they're really coming apart. All the liquid's coming out. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Smells really great. So we want the blueberries to kind of cook down. And all the sugar and cornstarch is melted now, and I just need to cook these blueberries till they really give it up. A couple of them already kind of popped open. So it's probably the easiest thing to do, because we really need to get this to cool back to room temperature, is to simply, you could pour it in some kind of little glass bowl, and you want to get it cooled down past, you know, down to room temperature, and then get it in the fridge so you can get it, because we want that cornstarch. What I'm looking for is, you know, when you first cook it, it's kind of got that whiteness of the cornstarch, and now it's going to clear again. So that's how you know you've cooked it enough. And for the most part, the blueberries are whole, so they still look pretty. A couple of them have kind of given up the ghost, and those are probably the ones that were just as ripe as can be, and they just couldn't take the heat. But it's just a lovely, beautiful. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to take it off the heat. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a nice thick sauce under there. And I'm just going to let it rest. I'm kind of stirring it because that pan's a little toasty, and I don't know. Alright, so we're going to give that
good half hour to get it really back down to room temperature, or a little lower if we have to. We're going to put it in the fridge so it kind of congeals a little bit. And then we'll move on to the next step. We're ready to finish this guy up. So this pie is almost ready. Okay, so the blueberry stuff came out absolutely perfect. The pie's perfect. I'm going to show you that in a minute. And so what we're going to do is we need to make this like middle layer between the custard, the banana custard, and the blueberries. And what we're going to do is normally you'd use like a whipped topping. Well, whipping cream doesn't have a whole lot of strength and durability to it. So how we're going to start this out, I got 4 ounces of block cream cheese in here, and it's at room temperature. I need to get it just a little mixed up. Not much in there, so it's that easy. So now what do I need to add? I need 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. Powdered sugar feels like cornstarch, doesn't it? There's probably some fancy French name for mixing this with cream cheese. I don't know it, so we'll have to live without it. Okay, let's say that. Let's go, huh? And of course, we need a teaspoon of vanilla. Because all good things have vanilla in them, trust me. I'll put the lid on and move this so I don't knock it over. Alright, so I can't talk a whole lot, but I'm going to get this sucker mixing up. Okay, now that's easy. So now what we need to do is I'm going to turn it back on, and I've got to gradually add 1½ cups of heavy cream. So it's going to give it kind of that whipped cream consistency, and I'll keep checking on it to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to. But let's get this going. To scrape down the bowl a little bit there. here. Yes, I must confess, this is a more challenging recipe, but it's fun to make, so what the heck, right? Check. It's funny, every time it starts to thicken up, I'm thinking it's cream cheese, but it's really the heavy cream is actually making some wicked whipped cream here. Okay. You always want to check it to see how your peaks are. And these are really firm peaks, so we're doing good. Oh yeah. Clean up after myself. Now, for you doubting Thomases, that's what a perfect custard looks like. And like I said, it doesn't have to be pretty. I like the little banana chunks in there and the slices are on the bottom. If you so desired, you could have put it through a strainer so everyone got surprised by the slices on the bottom. Show you what this looks like here. So this is you know, whipped cream that's a little firmer. We're just going to go crazy. Actually, I'm not going to go crazy. Oh, and drop some. So I know I try and keep my recipes pretty simple. Once in a while I have to make something a little more involved. And yes, you actually have to like watch through it to see. So I'm going to cover these bananas up. Whoops. I knew I was going to do that. Just have to bury those graham cracker. Had a collision with the crust. Alright, so, just a little more. Next thing I want to do, or try to do, spatula feels really fat to me for some reason, not real flexible. I'm going to build a little wall on the edge. And normally when you do pie type things, it's higher in the middle, so everything runs to the edges. I'm going to kind of see if I can stop that, because the blueberry is pretty set. So the two ways to do this. You can cut the pie as it is, or you can put the blueberries on it and then cut and serve it. I like the presentation of having the blueberries already on it, but because of so, I'm taking this little extra step here. Once we get that built up, we're going to kind of make a place. Okay. So I get my other spatula. We got the blueberries. Let me tell you. So you can see the blueberries have nicely thickened, and they're going to just make enough of a mess to look really good. So I just want to fill my little pond here. And you can go crazy, and if you're doing this for company, make it look pretty. But believe it or not, this is for me, so I want it to look just like that. Look, I'm so sorry that you can't come over and have a piece of this, but I didn't mean for that to happen. Let me tell you, that blueberry compote I made really accents this whole pie thing, and you just have fun with it, you know. I always say, you eat with your eyes first, but when I see stuff like this, oh, it's running over. We're doing this for the next half hour. You just have to just dig in and enjoy it. So anyway, I want you to try making something like this. This fun. This is dangerous. And hope you have fun with it. Much fun as I did. I can take a little bit. This is heaven. This is heaven on earth. All right. So keep the comments going. Do something fun for yourself. I know if I had some kids right now here, they'd have their forks dug into this and it would be all over the kitchen, all over their faces. And that's the kind of stuff that's just so much fun to do. I did put a little too much on, I'm sorry, but I couldn't resist. So, y'all have a good day, keep commenting, and I'll see you back next time. Have a great day.